Alrighty, ladies and gents, let's have a massive round of applause to show our love and support. And you may be seated. Perfect timing. You guys nailed it. Oh, nice. Alrighty, team. We are good to go. Let's kick off. And one more time, give a round of applause to show our love and support for our beautiful couples today. Do you need a tissue? All good. Does anyone have a tissue? Normally. Putting the best in best man. Watch out for his makeup. Alright. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, it is with great pleasure and excitement that I welcome you to the wedding ceremony of Sarah and Peter. As she just leans in and says, "You look so handsome." That's really cute. The couple are so thankful that you've joined them today, and while we're sad some people could not make the journey, that just means we do have a little extra alcohol at the reception shortly. So knowing that we have a lot of headling crew in, we will have a drink or about 10 for them. My name is Daniel Delby and I'm duly authorised by law to solemnise marriages according to law. As you can see, I'm not your typical old lady celebrant. Some of you have been to my weddings before and know they're a little bit different to the traditional ones. And just so everyone else knows, the bride and groom have heard and approved today's ceremony. So we have the all clear as we hear their story to feel free and laugh out loud with our newlyweds. Laughing actually makes you 70% more attractive to the opposite sex. So Pete must have laughed a lot because he's definitely batting. Now, I've never started a wedding this way before, but when I asked the bridal party to describe these guys' relationship, I got some incredible answers that I couldn't leave any out. So I'm going to set the tone by sharing what these guys think of them. I would like to point out that this first answer is one of the most unique, avant-garde ways of describing a couple I have ever come across. Let's see if anyone can decipher what this means from Mike, the groomsman. They do speak English in Canada, so it's understandable. He said from his perspective, it's like when you go through a drive-through at Macca's and you get your bag, but there's a couple of fries in the bottom that you didn't order, but you still enjoy. I'm not sure if this means they're an unwanted but fun addition to life, or that you get a little bit extra for free, or maybe they're just a happy meal and Pete is the toy boy. The bridesmaids Claire opted to depict them as a couple of goofballs, and the maid of honour Ziggy backed it up with they are like children with jobs and bills. It's a fun relationship where everyone is smiling, so maybe a happy meal wasn't too far off. Aidan, the best man, agrees, saying their relationship is full of excitement. They're always up for doing something out of the norm and they enjoy their time with each other because of it. The next three descriptions are brilliant because they all say the same thing but slightly differently, kind of like ChatGPT running wedding software. The bridesmaid Jade feels like they were always meant to be. They complement each other and know how to have fun together and crack a joke. Everyone feels comfortable and at ease around them, and she admires how they help each other during the tough times. Groomsman Toby kept it simple, pure, inseparable, always together, yin and yang. Lastly, AJ channeled Drake and got deep into his feelings. Pete and Sarah have an amazing, strong and supportive relationship, he says. They work well as a team towards their common goals as a couple and grow together through this. Their caring nature towards one another overflows to the people that they love, and it shows in the way that they both help and support those around him. For AJ, it's been a pleasure to watch their love grow and blossom. They have found the other half of themselves, and together they make a whole. Like the top and bottom of a Macca's bun in the drive-thru, hey? Speaking of Macca's, Pete's first ever memory of Sarah was when she worked there at the drive-thru. He never thought he was going to supersize from customer to husband and become the extra chips in the bag couple that they are today. But on the flip side, Sarah has an image clearer than a Blu-ray of her first memory of Pete. She was actually buying every Carl Barron DVD possible during a closing down sale at Video Easy, and Pete happened to be working the counter. They were both each other's customer before partner, kind of like a more wholesome romantic movie than the client relationship in Pretty Woman. It was again this customer and staff interaction that transformed the trailer into a premier relationship. It all comes down to Pete finding Sarah's G-spot. Three G-spot to be exact, because she used to work at the local Telstra shop 7 years ago when all we had was 3G. This is why I tell the audience they've proofread and they've heard today's ceremony. Somehow Pete had managed to bend the top of his iPhone and had ventured in looking for a replacement. Little did he know this would be the upgrade of a lifetime, from an iPhone to an Us home. Sarah remembers the scruffy looking Pete walking in with another girl who she assumed was his girlfriend, so she didn't want to check him out too much and be more of a video sleazy than a Telstra rep. However, this was just a friend who ended up being a real life Tinder app before it was even invented. The friend mentioned that Pete had a Facebook page reviewing movies, which sparked a conversation with Sarah about all the classics. So the friend he was with was less of a cock block and more of a cock blockbuster facilitator. The chemistry was palpable. Like Luke and Leia before the whole Tasmanian reveal, as they bonded over their shared view that the Return of the Jedi was and always will be the superior Star Wars movie. It's at this point where I'm thinking maybe the real reason his phone had bent was because he'd used the Force too much. They chatted more about their favourite movies like Jurassic Park, and it was around this point where Pete was starting to want to move from triceratops to Tricera because she was tops. I'm so proud I can use that pun in a wedding. That is such a specific set of circumstances required. They reminisced on how Disney movies had shaped their childhood, but it was they who were slipping into being Aladdin and Jasmine. It wasn't easy though. Sarah was more like the Sleeping Beauty as a self-confessed introverted couch potato, which is why she loves that Pete was so persistent in getting her to hang out with him. He sent her some DMs on Facebook, and nearly granted his own wish by sending her an Aladdin GIF. That was her favourite movie, which made her heart flutter and got Pete one step closer to riding the magic carpet. Of love. Her reserved nature, though, meant she was staying inside her lamp until finally he managed to rub her up the right way, thanks to a poke. A Pokemon Go. Yeah. Luckily, the game was out, Pokemon Go, and Sarah was out looking for Squirtle when Pete invited her to Aiden's housewarming. Being outside already meant it was easy for her to agree to head over, and I need to let Sarah know now, Pete told me he was stoked that he finally got to catch another Pikachu. They began to catch up more regularly. And when Sarah saw his car in her favourite colour, a blue Commodore in the driveway, it started her motor pairing. When she walked inside, Pete whipped out his big, massive DVD collection, which was a big tick for her. Big tick energy. He challenged her to name a movie that she thought that he wouldn't have. So she tested him with a Goofy movie, and like Aladdin's genie, he produced it immediately, with the cherry on top being the accompanying soundtrack to boot. Just like that, Pete knew that he found his Jasmine, and he was so confident that she was the one, he actually gave her his house key within a week, personalised with a Darth Maul keyring. Yeah. She unlocked the key to his heart when they shared their first kiss on Pete's couch while watching a movie. They think it was 50 First Dates, but they can't remember. From an introverted couch potato to an extroverted lover on the lounge, during the next film, Sarah made the move on Pete, but Simba got between them. Not the Disney flick, Pete's cat called Simba. It's a rare thing to be cock-blocked by a pussy, but Sarah asked Simba for consent, and after he agreed, she grabbed Pete and got a little bit of Timon and Pum Pum. This was such a fun wedding to write. From there, Pete fell in love with how Sarah could always cheer him up after a shit day. He'd return home, and if he was angry, once he saw her, his trouble would dissipate and he'd think Hakuna Matata. Pete adores how caring Sarah is and thinks they flow together like water downstream. Sometimes he turns the streams into rapids when he drops last-minute concerts on her, but he appreciates how she's always ready to go for his spur-of-the-moment decisions. She made him into a better version of himself, and she even supports his golf, to the point where she paid for half of his clubs. Ladies, if you want 5 hours to yourself on a Sunday, I suggest you follow suit. If that's not cool enough, she even bought him a PlayStation 5, and Pete's done what every man dreams of, somehow managed to get his wife into playing Fortnite so now they can spend quality time together while murdering 98 other strangers and calling it a day. For Sarah, she loves how Pete is always there for her and knows how to make her laugh. They're best friends and they can be doing absolutely nothing in each other's company and still be the happiest people on earth, or even Tatooine. He's helped her come out of her shell like War Turtle to Blastoise, but isn't afraid to use her as his go-to excuse for when he doesn't want to go out anywhere, instead spending the night chilling out together. Sarah appreciates Pete's thoughtfulness and his kindness. She had recently lost her little dog Bella, so for her birthday, Pete surprised her with a custom-made pop vinyl that looked exactly like her cherished pup. To add to that, she loves how he has a magic way with kids, which is reflected in him being a great dad to their bundle of joy item. From being a dad to asking Sarah's dad for her hand in marriage. Pete never planned on a big proposal because he was already shitting bricks, he said. He could never find the right time, but he still did manage to surprise her. They were catching up with Sarah's parents for a round of golf, obviously on a Sunday. Sarah's dad and Pete were swinging away, getting into some hot and heavy competition until they reached the last hole on the golf course. Golfing away. Pete had the ring hidden in a box behind his back, bringing a new meaning to the term golf box, and he insisted that Sarah take her shot first. As she lined up her drive and flushed it, then turned around to Pete standing right near her. She was stressing out now because it was a bit awkward that he was standing so close, and queried if her swing was off or if it was a worse shot than AstraZeneca. Pete sheepishly replied with a no, that's fine. So she replied with, okay, what's wrong then? Her parents then stepped back as he dropped to one knee and asked her to marry him. Her response was much like a golfer that 5 putts on the green, as she said through tears, about fucking time. They had a giggle, then she said yes, of course, on the course, as they all had a big hug and celebrated. Pete doesn't know the final score, but he's definitely scored a birdie. So from getting a new reception in Telstra to a wedding reception, let's turn this Disney prince and princesses into a king and queen. Here we go. This is the official bit. I have to say this legally. Before you join your marriage in my presence and in the presence of these witnesses, I am to remind you of the solemn and binding nature of the relationship into which you are now about to enter. Marriage, according to law in Australia, is the union of 2 people to the exclusion of all others, are voluntarily entered into for life. Okay. So these are the I do's. All right, Pete, you're first, so the responses I do. Pete, do you promise to love Sarah as much as you love Dragon Ball Z? Try finish one job before the next. Always be the Max to her Roxanne and continue to be the supportive, caring and everything she's dreamed for in a husband from this point forward.
I do.
Sarah, do you promise to love Pete as much as you love that special fork at dinner? Let people up. There's a fork she uses for dinner, that's special. Yeah, there's no pun on that one, guys. Yeah. So as much as you love that special fork at dinner, let Pete upgrade his motorbike. Always be his partner in all your crazy ideas and continue to be the beautiful, caring and loving partner he has fallen in love with from this day forward.
I do.
Nice, we got that motorbike on camera. So we're about to do the vows. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the vow books over. Who wants to go first? If you want to.
Alright, I call upon the persons here present to witness that I, Sarah Louise Amos,
take you, Peter David Postons, to be my lawful wedded husband. Peter, I can't believe we're finally here. After 8 years to the day, all the ups, downs, highs and lows, I finally get to call you my husband. We've got tissues on standby, right? Yeah. Okay. Alright. I still remember the butterflies I got when we first started talking. I think there's a reason why I remember them so vividly. It's because I still get them to this day. My excitement for you has never gone away. Thank you for loving... Stop. So thank you for loving the parts of me that are not easy to love. Oh dear. I used to think that we met by chance, but now I know that the universe put you in front of me because we were meant to spend our lives together. I'm not sure what made you come in that day all those years ago with your bent iPhone, or how it led to our first conversation. Or how it led to our first conversation about our favourite movies. Return of the Jedi will always be superior. Which then led to you stalking me on Facebook, but my life has never been the same. Since I was 23, I have loved you easily and wholeheartedly, and I think some part of me always knew that I would continue loving you that way forever. You are the most handsome and wonderful person I could imagine sharing my life with. I love how brilliant and passionate you are about things that excite you. I love how eager you are to take care of myself and our beautiful daughter Isla. He's really enjoying time with Grandpa. I love how seamlessly you fit into my family and the way you take care of my friends. I love how you love... Sorry. Oh my God, I can't do this. Alright. I love how much you love our pets. They have their little quirks just as we do. I love how often you remind me of how smart and capable I am, and most of all, I love that we've grown up together these past 8 years. I've watched you transform into this loving, loyal, amazing man with the best hair and body to match. As your wife, I promise to stand by you when life is rewarding and to stand even closer when life is challenging. I promise to support your dreams and continue to build a fun and full loving life together. I promise to be with you always, whether it's doing everything or simply doing nothing together. To my constant friend, my faithful partner, my soulmate, and now my husband, I love you so much.
All right, Sarah, let's finish that with a ring. His ring, yep.
Yeah, but not
All right, first one is officially locked in. Round of applause for her beautiful public speaking. We're going to do the same thing in reverse.
I'll say right now, I can't top that.
She didn't cry, I expect you not to.
Gee, thanks. As we stand here today on what marks 8 years as a couple, I call upon the persons here present to witness that I, Peter David Postons, take you, Sarah Louise Amos, to be my lawful wedded wife. When we met, I had hidden parts of myself away to avoid more heartache and pain. But you brought them back to the surface over the years and have made me a better person and a father. I love the way you look after our little family. Ever since that day I gave you a Star Wars themed key to the house, life just seems so much easier with you by my side, even when dealing with wackos when we first met. I love how you took interest in all my weird and wacky lifestyles, like my obsession with Dragon Ball Z and collectible items, which did get a little out of hand. just a little. And always seem to impress me when I give you little on-the-spot questions about them. I promise to continue supporting you through life and take the good with the bad. From the start of our relationship, we were both in some bad spots, but we got through them as a couple and came out stronger, and life has never been better. You know I'm not one for labels like babe, baby, or things like that. But today, standing here in front of you, I'm happy to call you my beautiful, amazing wife. And a loving mother for our gorgeous daughter, Isla. I can't wait to grow old with you and watch our family grow. The nights filled with laughter outweigh the nights filled with sorrow. No matter what life has thrown at us over the last 8 years, we have always come out on top stronger and closer together. I hope that together we can give our family an amazing life filled with love and happiness. You are everything I could have asked for in a partner, and I feel incredibly lucky to have you by my side. I love you.
All right, we are now completely official. Round of applause for both of their beautiful vows. So in a moment we are going to have the two witnesses to sign a marriage certificate, and these guys wanted to keep it a couple, so I might hand you the mic and you can tell everyone who your witnesses are.
So we'd like our witnesses to step forward. We've got Aiden. We'd like you to be one of our witnesses, and also Renee, please.
Beautiful. Yep. And I was going to check, you are over 18? Yep, beautiful. All right, team, we're going to go sign the paperwork, then we're going to come back and have their first kiss as officially husband and wife. So let's give them a round of applause, our witnesses and our support team. And we'll be back shortly to see these guys hook up in public.
Oh my goodness, it's a lot of dress.
Tissue again?
I think you got the other one.
In the future, they wish to build a house together that they can turn into a home for their little family and raise their daughter with unconditional love and kindness to live her own Disney fairy tale. So I'll just pop some music under Kiss too. Alrighty, so from your first kiss in the living room in Pete's house on Entrima Loop in Headland to the chapel today in 2J, Pete, I invite you for the first time as our husband to kiss the bride! Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding as I present for the first time as husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Poster! Congratulations, guys. And give it up for their support team. The bridal party have been with them all day. Let's have a round of applause for our awesome support team.